Hey everybody, just back to talk about some more records. That's what we do here on this channel. Yeah, and the reason why I'm talking about these records is because it involved a trip out of town and a visit to a record store that I had never been to before. So I thought I'd talk about it. Now back in April, end of April, I met up with my friend Rob in Savannah, Georgia. Rob is one of my best friends. He was at my wedding. We've known each other since high school, so we don't see each other as often as we'd like to, but it was good to get out of town and hang out with an old friend. Savannah's beautiful. I've actually never been before. 45 years on this earth. Every second of it, I have resided in the Carolinas, and yet I've never visited Savannah, Georgia before. I don't know why. There's a lot of signs of the old South still there, especially like kind of in the architecture and everything. But it's still a very beautiful town. Some great food down there. You're like right off the river. I'll probably show some footage of that somewhere. If I might indulge myself and tell you a tale of one of the things that happened while we were in Savannah, Georgia. My friend Rob noticed that this guy, Oliver Anthony, was playing. Now, Oliver Anthony is this musician that got famous off of this one YouTube video. Lord! He wrote a song that's kind of like all about the working class and how we're all screwed by the government and everything. And it was a real kind of like populist anthem, right? It's an okay song, a pretty okay song. It's got some lyrics in it that were a bit controversial by certain people with a political point of view, I think. Kind of both sides of the aisle were kind of trying to like clarify like where his political stance was. He had no interest in that whatsoever. We decided to go see him. I was like, what the hell, no big deal. The tickets weren't that much. But there were some things that were curious about it to me. Like one, it was in an arena. I didn't think that he was that big to play an arena. Two, I didn't even think he had enough songs to have like a full album to even tour at all. So, we got tickets. Rob got the tickets and I was just going to pay him back. And I look it up on Ticketmaster and it's listed Oliver Anthony, but it's under the headline of Bulls, Bands, and Barrels. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's just like the headliner of a festival or something. Maybe that's why it's an arena. So I look up Bulls, Bands, and Barrels. I turned to Rob and I said, you fucker, you bought a ticket to a rodeo. Lord! Now, granted, yes, I have grown up in the South my entire life. But unlike what a lot of you probably think of us, we didn't all grow up on farms. We don't know, not all of us know that way of life. And I sure as hell have never been to a rodeo. Yeah, it was what you'd expect. Bull runs out with man on it, man immediately falls down. And then you wait another 10 minutes for the next bull to come out with man on it, and then man immediately falls down. I'm sure a lot of people that were in attendance are good people, good hardworking people. But I was not really interested in being there for very long. I'll tell you that much. So I asked Rob, I said, go ask that merch guy what time Oliver Anthony's going on. I don't really give a shit about Oliver Anthony anymore. So let's just see. And we were there at about 7 o'clock, no, a little before 7 o'clock actually. And Oliver Anthony wasn't billed to play until 9. So needless to say, we didn't see Oliver Anthony, and we just moved on with the rest of our day. Lord! So after hanging out with Rob for the weekend, I decided on my way out of town to stop at Graveface Records. Graveface Records is not the only record store in Savannah, but I believe it's the oldest one at this point. It's also fairly well known. In the tri-state area, for those of us that live in North and South Carolina and Georgia, I think it's a fairly well-known record store. It was a really cool spot. The two guys that worked in there were really young guys, they're mid-20s at tops, I would say. But really, really nice, like not like standoffish, too cool for school, like dudes, they were actually like interested in customer service. It was This is not something that you experience very much in record stores, as you all know. So it was kind of cool, and especially to take the time to even chat with like an old fogey like me or whatever. But yeah, enjoyable conversation with those guys, and I found some really, really cool records. I will say the used bins were pretty top notch. That was the other thing. I was really impressed by their pricing. They had really good prices on their used stuff. They're not fooling around. I feel like they carefully curate that place. Now, this one was pretty exciting, actually. Synchro System Movement by Sunny Ade and his African Beats. And this is a 80s reissue on a label in like an English label, a British label. I thought it would be, worth picking up. Unfortunately, got it home, spun it, and it's really weird. It sounds like it's underwater. I don't know if it's just something happened to the record. Maybe the record got damaged, or, I don't know. Maybe really just the transfer, the audio transfer was maybe just that bad, and this is a really bad British like reissue label. Anyway, sounds horrible. So that sucks. But anyway, third minute, I thought it was a cool find. This is Ron Carter's Uptown Conversation on the Embryo label. I actually don't have anything else on the Embryo label, so that's one cool thing. I also don't have any records by Ron Carter as a headliner, so I felt like I should definitely have at least one. You see that really cool photo on the inside of that gatefold right there. But yeah, this is first pressing from 1970. Herbie Hancock plays on here as well. And even though I'm not like the biggest flute fan, there are certain vibes and certain albums over the years that have had flute on them that I can definitely dig. And so Hubert Laws plays flute on this. Very happy to find that. It was really, really cheap too. Also found this first pressing stereo of the Soft Machine Volume 2. So always kind of cool to find Soft Machine records. Would still really love to get a nice copy of that first one. I've had it before, but it was not a great copy. So still on the lookout for that with the uncensored cover and all that stuff. Okay, and then the last one that I found was this one, the Flesh Eaters, A Hard Road to Follow. It's the first pressing on Upsetter Records. Yeah, the Flesh Eaters were a band out of LA, the LA punk scene, associations with the band X, ran in the same circles as like the Blasters and Los Lobos. Yeah, really, really cool record. A lot of different influences, a lot of different genre influences in their music. At times they sound like just kind of like hard rock. There's almost like metal influences. I'd really love to get my hands on A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die, I believe is the name of it. It's the one with like the hand on the cover. Some really good finds at Graveface Records. Glad to be there. Glad to visit Savannah. All right, guys, that'll be it. Quick one here. Hope everybody's doing well. All right, bye.
Team at home, Big Jones is ready to go. Not the way he wanted to leave the Inmore Arena in this local government.
Digital gramophone makes no sense.